Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today's Tuesday's request day. Today's map's requested by the creator over on Facebook. Link is in the description, will be on the screen in a few moments' time. You can message me via Twitter or by Discord or by Patreon or even in the comments if you want to get a map reviewed. Although the comments is the weakest place because I get so many comments, it's so easy for me to miss them. Now, today's map is...
It's my first map.
That's right, and it's a bit of a twist on a real-life location. This is based up off of the Scottish coast, but we've also got a volcano, an Aboriginal volcano possibly, and also lakes that look a bit like a bunny's head, and also, well, a condom is the only way I can describe it. Let's just pretend that we're going senile and crack on and review the map as if it was a real-life map. What do you think? That's right, agreeing with me and hitting that like button is a really good way of supporting the channel, get me seen by more people and help me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Bareemal Inlet by Alpine Womble. Yes, a Bareemal apparently is a big old waterfall, Aboriginal apparently. There's your start square. Yeah, plenty of workable space there and even just a little bit of water to play with too. We've got terrain heights that are flat in the middle, hilly around the outside. That's fairly standard. That's nothing to complain about there. Resources are strong in the areas that we've got them. And where there aren't, that's fine. It'll work also. And if you have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, then we have a wide variety of little fishies to get your nets into. Off to the workshop, what do we need? Well, no DLC required today, though there is a one-click collection, a pretty nicely written description as well. It gives you plenty of information about the map with recommendations. The theme is Cedar Valley 4K. There is no LUT today, that's right, not even a vanilla LUT, we're going no LUT. Now the one-click collection has got 44 items on it. 44. Now, 44 items tells me this is going to be a finely detailed and exuberant map with lots of beautifying going on with it. For me, the map, it is the first map, the map doesn't add up to the sum of the contents of the subscription list. I'm not saying it's a bad map, I'm not saying it's an ugly map, but I'm feeling that we could have got the same sort of effect or even a better effect with maybe a quarter of the subscription items. I have no problem with maps requiring 44 items, but I want that map to feel glorious when you have got that many items. There's got to be one way you go, well, if I get rid of the river reeds, then my rivers are going to look rubbish. Or I need to have that sort of road because it's going to really add to the overall vibe of the map. Or we need to have 3 different sorts of deciduous trees to allow for a blending of the forests. Plenty of reasons to have a big mix of assets. Today I'm just not feeling any of it really. There's a few arguments to be made for it. Oh, here's your first intersection and going down to a roundabout and then off up that way. We'll have a little look down here. We have got a little bit of encroaching foliage right here and a little bit over here. Encroaching foliage isn't a big problem with today's map. There's just 1 or 2 spots and that's it. So don't think we're going to be having a look at lots of trees on the lines, etc. today. There will not be that. I think with today's map, it's just a lack of experience, and it's one of those that having built your first map, you have some experience, and you go and build a second map, and you get a lot more, and you fine-tune your skills. Today's map has got a lot of good things to talk about it, like here's your start square. This works very nicely for me. We have a nice little water tower in the middle of there as well, and power leading down. So we have, and it's an unconventional. Here's a few more trees here. An unconventional. Oh, and we do have a pylon on the highway. That's for me the biggest problem with the map. That little pylon, it's well out of place. But yes, it's an unconventional way of actually getting power to the start square, and Yeah, it works. It works, so we're not going to complain. And it doesn't look stupid either. It doesn't. There is one little power issue we will talk about in the second half of the show, but I would just get rid of that power issue fully. I would just get the bulldozer on it. Get done with it. Right, okay, heading off now. We're avoiding that first turn off. The first turn off does have an interesting location to go to. We've got a bit of catenary chaos, not too bad. I have a tutorial for that as well. In fact, I've got a couple if you include the node controller tutorial. So it's kind of like multiple options there. So yeah, this is the part of the map which is, well, you look around at the aesthetics, you look at the trees at the forests on either side. They look okay, don't they? They look okay. Are they mind-blowing? I'm going to suggest that they're not. The mix of trees is diverse, but there's no real. I mean, there are biomes. There are biomes within these things, and you get clusters of trees that all kind of work together, and you can see how the tree brushes have been switched over and moved over, but it just doesn't flow for me. It just doesn't flow. Another encroaching bit of foliage there under the underside of an elevated road there. Right, so yes, the today's map, what I like about it, I like the shape of the map. And I do like the routes that the networks have taken as well. It does open the map up to gameplay. Oh, also, the rail runs alongside the highway. We're looking at both at the same time. We're not doing a separate trip on the highway because you'll only be seeing what we've seen already, but going back the other way, yeah? That'd be a great show, that one, wouldn't it? It'd be an absolute great show. But yeah, the shape of the map is really strong. We've got plenty of buildable space. It's opened up through the way the network has been done. We've got some feature areas which actually, in terms of feature areas, I would say are strong. Again, are they the most polished, beautiful things I've ever seen? I would say no, but they are still strong. Positive strong, not strong. Wait till you see this coming up in the second half of the show. I'm going to say they're positives. The waterfall is very strong indeed. Would I have done it on this map myself? No, but it's not that it doesn't work. I think it would go down to personal taste for me. For personal taste for me, it's not my thing, but I can look at it and I can appreciate that the creator has actually done a very solid job with it. And in terms of the when you see this waterfall, it's a strong, very tall waterfall where the water actually does hold. Right, okay, we're at the edge of the map, so we'll take that brief intermission.
Want to add a custom hedge maze to your park but don't have the time to build one? Why not try BonBonB's modular hedge maze set? This guide will show you how to select and use the right units. Click the information button below.
And back to Bareemal Inlet by Alpine, Womble and the shipping route. We have one shipping route and it's absolutely fine. There's no grumbles with this at all. Doesn't get too close to the coast. Follows the coast in a way that you'll be able to use it. And yeah, there's nothing crazy about the shipping route at all. Does actually follow it around through the big old bridge, because everybody loves a big old bridge. Here it is. And it manages to avoid going too close to the pillar, which I think is a win as well. So that's that. Water flow, you see we have pipes into the start square. It's not just power to the start square, we have water being piped up here as well. And if we follow these pipes, wait until you see where this water is coming from. I don't think this is really needed because we do have strong water flow in the river. But as we have the pipes in place, there you go, big old dam. I think that's where the power's coming from. I think you might be right. Now, given we've got power coming from the dam, makes me wonder why we would have any other source of power for all of the outflows right on the edge of the map there. And it's a very well done outflow area. But what we have here, we've seen this done before, is the windmill thing there being hidden by the rock, which is glitching a little bit with the water, but not quite hidden. Now, I'm sure that is completely hidden on Alpine Womble's system. Why would it not be? Pretty sure they wouldn't have up, but I have to show you what I see on my system, what shows up for me. This is a nice touch here. This is to allow salmon to swim upstream. This is a thing that actually happens in the world, and I've completely forgotten about, and I think that is all credibility. We've got some floating foliage though. Some floating vegetation. Probably it might be, maybe that's a salmon in disguise. There you go. We have a camouflaged salmon. Now down here we've got a little bit of a ridge running down each side. You can make out there, and if we have a look at the underwater terraforming, you can see the ridge runs all the way down. It's very, very deep down here. I think that is to allow for the power to flow down downstream, because we have got a lot of usage of the dam units to allow the water to reach the start square down here. So I think that's what's caused that. But I would preferred it to have been smoothed out a little bit, and so we didn't have the ledge running along the length of that canal. Start square area, plenty of buildable space there. We'll come back to that. We've got plenty more things to look at. Load of buildable space over here, and the resources in place as well. Got a similar problem with the underwater detailing along here, where you can see here we've got, like we have on the edge of the map there, but this is just under the water, and it doesn't seem to make any sense to me. Sorry, I didn't mean to spin the camera there. That's my bad, as they say. Let's head on over to, we've got a rock fall over here if we're looking at detailing areas. I like to see a bit of terrain work there as well to make it look like it's just concaving in a little bit where the rocks have fallen. But it's a nice little touch. Then if we come over to this area over here, there is another possible start location over here with a little roundabout, and we've got also actually no, this is, sorry, beg your pardon, this is where the hiking trail starts. I forgot where we were. So yeah, we have a hiking trail, and sorry, we got a bit close. That's the old Clara hiking path asset. Very lovely work there again. And if we follow this path, I'm going to say this path follows a sensible route. We've got one or two bits of foliage on the path, sadly. But I think this follows a very sensible route, and with any of these things, you want it to go somewhere or to make some kind of sense. This path does. It follows a route that I think would make some sort of sense. A bit steep in places, but hiking paths can be a little bit steep in places. That's the advantage of hiking paths rather than like cycle paths, because we can walk up a steeper incline than we can actually pedal up one. The path then goes along the ridge here between all the trees. It's very nicely done. Again, heading up in towards the highest point on the map, which is where we'll find our waterfall. And so something to look forward to. Follow the path with the bits of foliage on the path. Yes, there's a few of those. There's a few of them. We'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. Now the path will split in a moment. One part of the path is way too steep for me, which is why I think the other path has been put into place so that you can actually physically climb the path. Heading up here, up through the trees. We're still climbing. We are still climbing. We're getting there. We are. I promise you. We are getting... There's a heck of a view from up here, by the way. A heck of a view. Might be nice to have the viewing platform up here. As we've got 44 assets, an extra one would not have hurt. Here we go. Here's where the path splits. Really steep up the cliff face, but then we've got a more pleasing route around for those of you that haven't got your hiking boots on and the grappling hook. Now heading up into the... There we go. We've made it to the top. Now this is the volcano part of the map. We have... little picnicky area with yeah, that's fairly neatly done, and we've got some steam and smoke vents. Now remember, so we've got steam vents. They've been used. They are vanilla, nothing to subscribe to. And then we have the waterfall, and the water is going to plummet a big old drop. Where are we? Here we go. And it works. It actually works. We're getting a clean line coming down here. There's no break in that water at all. That is actually a really well worked waterfall. But I would like to have seen the steam vents used along the bottom of the waterfall to indicate some sort of splash, as we've used it at the top. Maybe they didn't want to use it in both locations because they've used it for volcano and they didn't want to use it for waterfall effect. I don't know. I would have done. That's just me though. Start square. asset of the day. And this one is by the king. The king. There is only one king. Well, there might be more than one king. King in every country. KingLeno. This is Walgreens. And I always assumed Walgreens was a supermarket, but apparently it's a drugstore chain. What did I know? This is a drive-through drugstore chain as well. The sign comes separately, so you can place that one how you like it. And it's Walgreens. They've got a real 70s vibe with their sign. I've got to say I like it. Good work here from KingLeno. Factoids, because factoids. And I have got a factoid here. I've lost it. I found it. The Brazil nut, get this right. The Brazil nut did not get its name from the country. The country got its name from the Brazil nut. Apparently, I'm not quite sure how that worked. But yeah, Brazil nuts were not named after the country. It's vice versa. Fascinating stuff. Walgreens. Great asset, of course, from the king of all things American commercial. It's KingLeno's finest work since his last finest work. And I'm very glad to see it. Right, okay, we are about done. Oh no, I promise, forests. Let's have a quick look at the wood, the mix of trees. It just doesn't really work for me. There's no real blending of the trees. The density of the trees could be mixed up. This mix of trees does not work for me at all. For me, personally. I'm glad to be corrected in the comments where everybody tells me actually this is what it looks like in these areas. And I'm gonna say there are some well done areas. It just doesn't flow for me. But does it flow for you? And if it does, how would you rate it? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now. We'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But what do I think of it? I found this one really hard, actually. Really difficult to rate. Because I do like the overall shape of the map, but it doesn't shine. And I thought it was going to, given it had 44 subscription requirements. There's nothing wrong with it. But for me, I can't go higher than slap bang middle. Pass mark, nothing wrong with it. Slap bang middle for me, but I feel it's shortchanged itself a bit. Detailing, I'm going to say exactly the same. There's nothing really bad with this. There's one or two minor tree encroachment sort of things. There's nothing wrong with it, but I feel it doesn't shine. And it probably, I think the next one will. Going down the middle, 3. Gameplay. I think, apart from the fact that it doesn't really make you want to play the map, I think it's pretty playable. I'm going to go 3 stars again, but I'm going to go at the top end. I think it's just shy of being a 4-star map for gameplay. Bareemal Inlet, I can't even say it, by Alpine Womble. Actually, I mean, 3's down the line. If you play a map that's got 9 stars, 3, 3 and 3, you are not going to be disappointed. It's not going to let you down. It's a solid map. And a reliable map. You might change the theme and the LUTs to make it a little bit more aesthetic. But yeah, I think just a bit of experience, and Alpine Womble's going to be a creator of note. Anyway, we've made it to the end of the show. If you're still here, you're part of the 20 and out elites. Use the words of the day into the comments for some population points just for fun. And I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. Thanks very much for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing, and I'll be here again very, very soon.